body for religion, Christianity inside of the United States. That's not Catholicism. That's not Orthodoxy, is it?
No.
Now, so it could be possible as well that you're drawing a correlate that doesn't even exist here. The correlate being that as we centralize power, that this is going to go against Christianity. My argument back to you is no, as long as you are not centralizing power with Protestants who then fracture off into 40,000 different denominations. It's the fact that they are not
Not quite
centralized. It's
40,000.
the fact that they're not centralized, actually, which destroys their power. Here's my argument to you. My argument is right this second, if there was one single solid church, which was a Protestant church, let's just call it, for the purpose of this mental exercise, the Church of Martin Luther. Okay. Conservatives would then be in charge of the most powerful institution in the United States, which would be that church. Not liberals, not progressives, conservatives would be. And that is what happens when actually you fracture away your power, is that evil men and progressives come in and they seize your institutions and they centralize it against you. You cannot actually defend against the powerful without yourself being powerful. And you have to have some form of collectivism to do that. In this case, I would say Christianity is a great one.
Yeah, I mean, I think Christianity is a bulwark against oppressive regimes, and that's why oppressive regimes try to subvert the church historically. I
Like
don't know.
communists, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that Catholicism or Eastern Orthodox churches have exactly protected their societies from their governments becoming uh, tyrannical either. So I'm not sure that that
No, no,
argument.
no. Wait, they have. And that's why the first thing the communists do to the Orthodox Church is what?
Well, they
What did they do
they
to them?
persecute them.
No, so they took them all. They took the Orthodox czar out, and they murdered him and his entire family. The Bolsheviks did, and then they went through and systematically slaughtered all of the Orthodox which existed in the East that they could possibly get their hands on,
Right.
exactly because they were a powerful central church, which
So what
could
you're saying is it
stop
wasn't good
which
enough
could
to
stop
stop.
communists.
So you're saying that, you're saying
Just
they
because they
failed.
lost, yeah, just because they lost doesn't mean that the idea that centralizing force, if they had had some sort of like standing army or some sort of warrior class, let's say, they might have been able to stand a much larger chance. They only had a centralized power with the political class. That in and of itself is still a great bulwark. They at least had something. We don't have anything. We're just
Well,
literally
listen,
ripe for the plucking, bro. We're ripe for the plucking. It's not
with.
easy. It's not actually easy for them to do this unless libertarian ideology gets in there and says to them things like, you should not wield force in government for ethics. You should not wield law against the citizens to enforce ethical standards. Rather, people should be able to do whatever they want as long as they're not aggressing on other people. You create this open back door for power to seize your institutions, because what happens is moral men act in the way that you're prescribing. Immoral men refuse to act in the way that you're prescribing. And so what they do is they seize power of those institutions and you let them right in through the front door. Instead of recognizing this ideology will not go away, the only way to successfully combat the guy on the playground who has the biggest fists is to make sure that you can pound him harder, right?
Yeah, I just don't agree with that characterization of how we got here. Like, I've heard it sounds similar, like Michael Knowles said when he was on Timcast. He was like, "Oh, libertarians duped the conservatives, and this is why we're
They
in the mess
did.
we're in today." And I disagree with that. Like, conservatives were hijacked by like the Buckleyites and the neocons, who they weren't trying to keep
You mean
government small.
you mean progressive libertarians. Those are progressive libertarians
They're
who
not
spoke.
I mean, if
Oh,
we're gonna
yes, they
call
were.
them libertarians, that's just like that's making the word libertarian meaningless if it
When
describes
when you
those
make
people and people like
when you
me.
make an egalitarian when you make the argument, the pro argument for egalitarian systems for equity between human beings and egalitarianism, essentially you are moving towards a libertarian paradigm. Libertarians have to concede to some form of egalitarianism and some form of equity. Otherwise, none of your shit's going to work. You have to bake in the assumption, for instance, that people can, sign these contracts, that they can live inside of these societies without there being a threat of force. My argument and contention is that no, they can't, and that all it takes is a single man to say, "No, we want their shit," and now you're right for the
Yeah.
plucking. You're right for the plucking. That's it. That's the end of it.